Hello, I'm Luna Celestine, and tonight I ask you to pause, take one breath, just one, and feel the stillness under this day. This isn't just another Friday. And no, it's not about superstition or black cats or broken mirrors. It's about resonance, the kind you don't hear with your ears, but with your bones. The moon has a message for you, and it chose this night, Friday the 13th, because only in this rare alignment can the quiet truths slip through. There are moments the universe stops speaking in signs and starts speaking in silences. This is one of them. Something ancient is moving beneath the surface right now, something older than fear, older than logic. It's not loud, it doesn't rush in with answers. It waits, it watches. It whispers to those who know how to stay still long enough to feel instead of interpret. You don't need to understand it, not yet. You only need to notice what keeps pulling you back today, what your attention keeps circling, even when your mind wants to move on. Because what we're about to enter is not a ritual, it's a threshold, a gateway made of silence, memory, and that strange pressure in the air you can't quite name. This isn't a night for affirmations or clarity. It's a night of contact. And if you've been restless, uncertain, or tempted to speak what's not yet ready to be spoken, you're in exactly the right place. Let's go deeper. I'll guide you there. Tonight, more than ever, silence is your sanctuary. Not the silence of absence, but the silence of sacred containment. If there's something you've been aching to reveal, an idea forming in the quiet corners of your mind, a plan taking shape behind the scenes, a dream that finally feels close enough to name, resist the urge to speak it aloud. Not because you must hide, but because what's forming within you is still tender, still taking root. Some energies are not ready to be witnessed, not because they are weak, but because they are sacred. When exposed too soon, they don't die, they distort. They dissolve under the weight of expectation and misinterpretation. So hold it close. Let your silence be your protection. Not everything sacred asks to be shared. And as the moon retreats into its shadowed phase, your dreams tonight may carry more than symbols. They may carry signatures, contracts, unspoken agreements written in a language your waking mind won't remember, but your soul already understands. You may wake with a word echoing in your thoughts, one you've never heard but somehow recognize. You might carry a feeling that doesn't quite belong to this world, a sense that something passed through you while you slept, something ancient, familiar, and deeply intentional. Do not rush to decode it. Let it breathe. Let it linger like incense in a quiet room, because this is not the kind of knowing you think through. It's the kind that inhabits you slowly, until one day it simply becomes you. And tonight, that becoming begins. Not everything that captures your attention today is coincidence. In fact, almost nothing is. That image you can't stop thinking about, the phrase that repeats in your mind like a distant echo, the way your eyes keep being pulled to a particular color or object or number, these are not random distractions. They're signals, quiet threads stitched into your awareness by something far older and wiser than your conscious mind. The moon doesn't always speak in visions or dreams. Sometimes it simply nudges your gaze, and when it does, it's not asking for analysis. It's guiding your soul toward what it has quietly longed to remember. If something today keeps returning to you, no matter how subtle, no matter how small, pay attention, because the universe is not always loud when it moves. It is intentional. And this moment, this strange pull you feel, is not a trick of the mind. It's alignment. It's the moon saying, look here, again. Not with your eyes, but with your inner knowing. Your intuition is being recalibrated, and the only requirement is that you stop dismissing the patterns that keep repeating. This invisible trail began a few nights ago, on June 11th, when the strawberry full moon didn't just complete a cycle, it withdrew. It exited abruptly, like someone leaving a room without closing the door behind them. And in that sudden departure, it left a residue, not physical, not measurable, but undeniable for those attuned to the undercurrents of energy. You may have felt it without knowing what it was: a shift in mood, a strange heaviness, an unspoken awareness that something just changed. That wasn't your imagination. It was the echo of the moon's presence, still humming in the ether. And tonight, that echo isn't fading, it's deepening. If you feel slightly out of step, slightly more porous, like time is stretching in odd directions or your thoughts are looping in unfamiliar ways, honor it. Don't try to fix it. You're not broken. You're receiving. The moon is no longer illuminating, it's imprinting. And only those willing to listen with their inner senses will know how to follow what cannot be logically explained. June 13th is not just a date. It is a crossing point, a threshold carved in silence between the moon's retreat and something far older, something rarely spoken of, the 13th Seal. But don't look for it in stone or scripture. This seal isn't a place. It's a frequency, a subtle shift in the spiritual current, perceptible only when the veil is thin and the timing precise. Tonight, the veil is thin, and that seal, that gate, is trembling open. You won't see it with your eyes, you won't hear it with your ears, but you may feel it in the pressure behind your eyes, in the pause before you speak, in the strange weight of your own breath. It is not meant to be declared, defined, or dissected. It is meant to be kept. There are truths that lose their form the moment they are touched by language, truths that exist only when held in reverent silence, and what opens tonight belongs to that category. You do not name it, you steward it. This is why you've been feeling that quiet sense of anticipation with no clear object, why certain thoughts feel heavier today or more electric, why you're sensing something is happening just beyond your ability to describe it. It's because something is being handed to you in a language beyond words, a remembrance, a code, an inheritance of knowing that doesn't come from outside you. It awakens inside you. To write it down would be to change it. To speak it aloud would be to weaken its shape. This message was not designed to be shared. It was meant to live only inside you, to integrate slowly, to reveal itself not all at once, but in pulses, in dreams, in choices you will make weeks from now without knowing why, because part of you already knows. So let it remain whole, let it remain silent, because tonight you are not receiving a message, you are becoming its guardian. This is not a day for answers. It is not a time to seek clarity, to force meaning, or to chase resolution. Today is not asking you to figure anything out. It is asking you to listen, and not with your mind, but with the part of you that remembers before memory, the part that knows without needing proof. There are days meant for movement, for action, for making declarations to the world. But this is not one of them. June 13th is a still point, a pause in the cosmic breath. And if you can meet it with your own stillness, something ancient will begin to unfold within you. This is a day of listening without questioning, of noticing without needing to name. If you become quiet enough, if you allow the silence to deepen without interrupting it with thoughts or intentions, you will begin to feel heard, not by another person, but by the universe itself. The moon is not waiting for your voice tonight. It is waiting for your presence, for your willingness to receive something without the usual filters of logic and urgency. And when that moment comes, when you stop grasping for meaning and simply allow what is to be, you realize you've been in conversation with something far greater all along. And one more thing. You didn't stumble upon this message by accident. This wasn't a coincidence. You didn't find this video. It found you. The moment your eyes paused on the screen, the moment your breath caught as you listened, that was the invitation. That was the echo calling you back to a frequency you forgot you were made of. Something inside you responded before your mind could catch up. So now the question is not, what does it mean? The real question is, will you let it live in you, silently, sacredly, unspoken, until it is ready to bloom on its own? Because if you do, the bond between you and the unseen will not only deepen, it will begin to speak back, quietly, powerfully, in ways you won't need to explain, because you'll know. When it comes to money on this particular Friday the 13th, the rules are different, subtler, sharper, and more karmic in nature. Today is not the time for impulsive spending, flashy investments, or announcing bold financial moves. The energy moving beneath the surface is precise but unpredictable, like a wire drawn tight, ready to snap back if pulled too far. What may feel like an intuitive yes in the moment could, by tomorrow, reveal itself to be a distraction or a leak. This is a day for containment, not expansion. Let your wealth, whether in money, ideas, or potential, remain protected. Keep your financial plans to yourself, especially if they're still forming. Sharing too early dilutes the energy behind them. The current spiritual field doesn't support broadcasting abundance. It supports nurturing it quietly, like a seed that needs darkness before it breaks open. If you feel drawn to make a purchase today, pause. Ask yourself if it comes from alignment or from emotion. Today's moon energy can distort clarity, making wants feel like needs and urgencies feel like destiny. Be extra cautious with agreements, contracts, and money transfers. Even small financial decisions can ripple wider than expected under this kind of influence. Above all, remember, this is not a day to chase wealth. It's a day to protect the wealth that's already choosing you. What's meant to prosper will do so in time, but today, let it rest. Let it root. Let it gather strength in the unseen. Your future self will thank you for the patience. After Friday the 13th passes, you may find yourself in a strange emotional twilight, a liminal space where everything feels slightly rearranged, though nothing outwardly has changed. This is not a return to normalcy. It's the quiet after a spiritual pressure valve has been released. You might feel emptier, softer, or unusually reflective. That's not a void. It's the clearing. What was stirred on this day doesn't end when the sun rises. It begins to settle in new places inside you, places that are now more receptive, more ready. In the days that follow, don't rush to interpret what happened. Let it unfold. Let it echo. You may notice your dreams shifting. You may feel more emotionally porous, more intuitive, or even a little disoriented. This is the recalibration process. The soul doesn't integrate deep truths through logic. It integrates through embodiment. You may feel nudged to make changes that don't make sense on the surface, but feel right in your bones. Trust those nudges. They are the aftershocks of insight. Spiritually, Friday the 13th leaves behind what I call energetic residue, a kind of vibrational fingerprint. And only those who were truly silent, truly listening, will carry it. That imprint will act as a magnet in the weeks to come. It will draw people, opportunities, and lessons to you, not because you chased them, but because you aligned with them. This is the difference between manifestation and resonance. After a day like this, you're not calling things in. You're simply becoming the version of yourself they were already seeking. So be gentle with yourself. In the coming week, journal only if you feel called, but not to explain, only to witness. Create space, not goals. Let stillness linger where it wants to, because what you received on this night was not a task, it was a transformation. And transformations don't arrive with blueprints. They arrive with presence. Let the mystery unfold in layers. Let it surprise you, and most of all, honor what you still don't know. That unknowing is the sacred soil where your next becoming is already beginning to grow. And now, as we come to the end of this sacred passage, I invite you to remain here for just a few more breaths. Not to rush away, not to close the tab, but to let this moment settle in your body like moonlight on still water. You see, nights like this, rare, veiled in mystery, humming beneath the surface, do not come to give us revelations we can immediately explain. They don't arrive bearing instructions. They arrive bearing remembrance, and not the kind you retrieve from memory, but the kind your soul has always carried, quietly waiting for the right vibration, the right silence, the right opening to come alive. Tonight, that opening was real. If you felt even a flicker of recognition, if something in you leaned in without knowing why, if you found yourself staring a second too long at the screen, pausing mid-thought, sensing a presence that wasn't quite yours, that was the message. It didn't need to be spoken to be heard. It didn't need to be written to be received. It arrived through your attention, through your stillness, through the invisible contract you accepted simply by choosing to listen instead of speak. And maybe nothing looks different yet. Maybe tomorrow the world will still move as it always has. But you won't quite be the same. Something shifted inside the silence. You let something ancient in. Or maybe, more truthfully, something ancient finally remembered its way back to you. What happens next is not something I can tell you, because it won't arrive as a flash of clarity or a loud sign. It will come slowly, in the decisions you make without overthinking, in the people you're drawn to without understanding, in the timing that feels eerily perfect, and the words that land in your heart like they were waiting there all along. That's how this kind of energy works. It ripples, not roars. So I ask you, don't force clarity. Don't chase meaning. Let the mystery remain fertile. Let the truth continue to gestate inside you, untouched by noise, untainted by over-explanation. This isn't about enlightenment. This is about intimacy, between you and the universe, between you and the part of yourself that's always been listening, even when your mind was too loud to hear it. I am not your teacher. I am simply your mirror in this moment, and if something resonated tonight, then you've already been called. Not by me, not by a video, but by something older than language, something that sees you fully and waits for you to see yourself the same way. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for allowing yourself the gift of quiet, the courage of not knowing, the reverence of listening. I'm Luna Celestine, and it has been my deepest honor to hold this space with you. Until the moon whispers again, stay soft, stay sacred, stay silent. Something beautiful is still speaking, and now, so are you, even without a single word.